The wait is over. The Rock is back, people. No, not that Rock. The other guy. Thinner, darker, and actually funny. Yeah, him. Chris Rock. It's been more than a minute since we got a quality special from Chris Rock, and Selective Outrage is exactly that, a return to that edgy, incisive social commentary we last witnessed about 2 decades ago. Now, there's been a whole lot of talk about Chris clapping back a year after that now infamous slap. And fair enough, Chris had been tight-lipped about that incident in which he was the victim. He does dedicate a significant chunk of his hour-long special addressing the assault and its context. But it would be an injustice not to look at the whole special, particularly the highlights from this trending comedic offering. Chris starts out by promising he's not going to offend anyone, and like any good comedian, he goes on to do the exact opposite.
Everybody full of shit.
He points out that everyone is a hypocrite because we all practice selective outrage, meaning that we get mad at certain things in situations when it's convenient. Then in other less convenient circumstances, we are more tolerant and accepting of objectively abhorrent behavior. As the adage goes, you can't have your cake and eat it too.
The thing I have a problem with is the selective outrage. That's right. Selective outrage. Everybody, they know what I'm talking about. One person does something, they get canceled. Somebody else does the exact same thing. No. You know what I'm talking about. You know, like the kind of people that play Michael Jackson songs but won't play R. Kelly. Yeah.
Chris also talked about what he calls the most problematic addiction in America today. I'd go a step further and say that this addiction is not limited to the United States, but rather is a global phenomenon. What is this addiction, I hear you ask?
We are addicted to attention. Can't get enough attention. Fiending for likes. Just fiending. We used to want love. Now we just want likes. Posting up pathetic pictures. This is me eating sushi. Like me.
These days, people will do almost anything to get attention, and Chris points out 4 ways in which people seek this drug.
Number 1, easiest way to get attention. Show your ass.
And this is regardless of whether you have one or not. Obscenity in general has been a growing problem for a long time now, so it comes as no surprise that it made it onto our humorous philosophers list. It's also not a problem that is specific to young people. No, even old people are twerking and jerking their rear ends in front of cameras in the hopes of being noticed.
Well, good luck with all that.
Next up on the attention addicts list of how to get a fix is
To be infamous. Yeah.
doing something stupid like harming people. Now we'll say this, obscenity is marginally better than this because for the most part it's a you problem, as in you the one with no shame. Whereas harming people for the sake of infamy is a problem that involves random innocent people. All for what? 15 minutes of fame?
Not a great plan.
Item number 3 on the attention addicts fix list is tantamount to a 4-letter word.
To be excellent. That's right. Like, being excellent will get you attention.
There's one problem with this one. You have to actually do stuff exceptional people do, like getting up early every morning, being consistent and dedicated, and never giving up. This one's a hard sell when you think you can get just as much attention by being an idiot in front of a camera. And last, but certainly not least of the arrows in the attention fiend's quiver,
Is to be a victim.
this doesn't include real victims who do exist and genuinely need help. No, he's talking about all those so-called victims filling up the hospitals because they have paper cuts. The victim Olympians. And that seamlessly moves us on to Complainer-in-Chief Meghan Markle and her trusted sidekick.
Also, concerns and conversations about how dark his skin might be when he's born.
What?
Oprah, they're so racist. They wanted to know how brown the baby was gonna be. They're so racist. They wanted to know how brown the baby's gonna be. I'm like, that's not racist. Because even black people wanna know.
What? That's right, Oprah. Even black people want to know. Now, if every interaction between people of different races can be construed as racism, then the word loses its meaning. If everything is racist, then nothing is. And I love that Chris Rock is the one who addressed this issue the way he did. Because if someone on the right had said this, they would be dismissed simply because they are on the right, regardless of having spoken the truth.
You can't handle the truth.
And what truth might that be? Simply this: people of all shapes, sizes, and colors can be mean, insensitive, ignorant, and downright foolish sometimes without being a racist. Now let that sink in. Chris then spent a few minutes going in on the Kardashians as a side to proving his point about Meghan Markle. The other hot topic Chris touched on was abortion.
I'm absolutely pro-choice, okay? I believe women should have the right to kill babies. But let's not get it twisted. It is killing a baby.
Again, it was good that Chris was the one talking about this. As much as every conservative talk show host has shouted from the rooftops, the message lands on deaf ears because of the messenger. So, thank you, Chris, for doing two things that seem impossible in this day and age: telling the truth about abortion whilst being on the left side of the aisle. Chris was very clear about being pro-choice whilst acknowledging that abortion is killing babies.
Why would any woman want to do that?
Why indeed? Now, Chris also talked about his daughters and how he spoiled them. And as a divorcee, he also touched on the struggles of dating in your 40s and 50s. Also, it's worth noting that as hard as it is to date in middle age, it's harder for women. But it's not great for men either. Make of that what you will. And finally, we get to the all infamous slap. And like another comedic philosopher opined about said assault,
only black people can turn the Oscars into the Source Awards. I don't do a good Chris Rock, but you know what I mean.
I'm not sure if Will Smith was looking for attention because he is, or was at any rate, a Hollywood megastar. We can only hope he gets the help he needs. For the last year, opinions have been divided over who was at fault and what punishment, if any, should or shouldn't have been dished out. Now, what I like was Chris did something that is, again, not common for the left-leaning. He stated unequivocally that he will never, ever play the victim card.
I'm not a victim, baby. You will never see me on Oprah or Gayle crying. You will never see it. Never gonna happen.
Why not, Chris? You have every right to do so.
Because I was raised. I got parents. And you know what my parents taught me? Don't fight in front of white people.
And on that bombshell, I bid you a good day. And until next time,
I'll be back.